What's going on, guys? Full recaps here, and today I am back with another college football prediction video. Today we're going to be talking about Tennessee versus the Kentucky Wildcats at Neyland Stadium. It's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time, so it's going to be a prime time game. This is another good game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a close game. It might be a high-scoring game, who knows? But man, hats off to Tennessee for beating Alabama last week. That game was crazy. It was insane. 52 to 49 on a last-second field goal to win. And I'm so glad that Tennessee beat Alabama because I can't stand Alabama. Hendon Hooker played amazing that game. And then Hyatt, for the receiver, had like 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns that game. It was insane. I'm just glad that they beat Alabama because I just can't stand Alabama. So just Heupel, coach from Tennessee, or is it Josh Heupel or something? I think that's his name. I know I destroyed his name in one of the videos, and Tennessee fans got all mad at me. But I respect their opinion because I know that they are going insane this year. They're 7-0. They're third in the nation. Who would have thought Tennessee this year? I didn't think Tennessee this year would be 7-0, number third in the country. And of course, Kentucky is ranked 9th. They beat Mississippi State, so they were on a bye week this week. And then Tennessee, in the beginning of the game against UT Martin, or is it Martin? Yeah, UT Martin. Like Martin had like a 73 lead, and then they just destroyed them the rest of the game. So it was that was like I guess a slump game because they just beat the number 1 team in the nation, and no one thought that Tennessee was going to beat Alabama after 15 years of just misery. They finally beat Alabama, so that was an awesome game for them. So it was a fun game. All right, so like I said before, Kentucky are 5-2, 2-2 in the conference, and of course 7-0 and 3-0 for Tennessee. This is a huge game for both teams because both teams are in the SEC East, I believe. Kentucky is as well. So this is going to be a top-notch game, and it's going to be on ESPN as well. So all right, so this is going to be at Neyland Stadium, like I just said. The Tennessee has a 82.9% compared to Kentucky's, which is 17.1%. And of course, as you guys know, that I like to read off the stats, the season leaders, and I like to base off my stats, or base off my prediction off of the team stats overall, and then compare the games to each team's team schedule that they played so far this year. All right, Will Levis, who is a top prospect as well as Hendon Hooker, he's played really well so far. Though that he has some games that he struggled in, but other games he did well in. All right, so he had 114 completions to 164 attempts, 1,635 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Not bad at all. Hendon Hooker could potentially be a Heisman candidate as well as a top 5 draft pick or top first round draft pick as well if he continues to play really great. All right, 137 completions to 194 attempts, 2,903 yards, and 18 touchdowns. All right, Rodriguez from rushing yards has 72 carries, 395 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kentucky earlier in the season struggled with the running game, but I think they've caught on. I think they'll do well against Tennessee this upcoming game. Robinson for Kentucky, Wright for Tennessee has played a great game against Alabama, and he had 85 carries, 405 yards, and 4 touchdowns as rushing. And the receiving wise, we have Robinson from Kentucky, 25 receptions, 392 yards, and 3 touchdowns. All right, so Hyatt has played just insanely well. This dude went off against Alabama. I mean, he broke every coverage. He destroyed Alabama had a great defense too. Like, they have top-notch corners. But every fade route, this dude just broke every DB that game. I mean, he has 40 receptions, almost 1,000 yards of receiving, 769 receiving yards, and 12 touchdowns through 7 games. That is really impressive in my opinion. All right, so lastly, we have the team stats. We have Kentucky, points per game, 26.4. They're a low-scoring type of team, but they're still good in my opinion. Tennessee, 50.1. They just gone off lately. Points allowed per game, this is where it's going to be huge for both teams. Kentucky only allowed 16.4 points per game. Meanwhile, Tennessee, 23.1. Total yards, this is where Tennessee beats Kentucky out. 373 571.7 compared to 571.7 to Tennessee. Yards passing, we have 260.3 with Kentucky, and of course 368.9 with Tennessee. I mean, both quarterbacks are pretty good. Will Levis is good. Hendon Hooker is good. So I expect to be another close game. I think it's going to be maybe a high-scoring game. Could be a mid, 20s and then, low scoring 30s. I feel like I was just doing the weather right there. All right, so yards of rushing, we have 113.4 compared to Tennessee's 202.9. Yards allowed, this is where Tennessee also struggles a little bit in the secondary because they did get kind of torched by Bryce Young, but it was a high-scoring game, so it didn't matter at the end. Yards allowed, 295.4 to 420.6. Yards passing yards allowed, 178.3. And this is why I said that Tennessee's secondary isn't all that great. 329.7, but their defensive line is pretty good, only allowing 90.9 to compare to Kentucky's 117.1. All right, so this is going to be at Tennessee. This is going to be another primetime game. Kentucky's beaten Mississippi State. They almost beat Mississippi or Ole Miss. They should have beaten Ole Miss. That game was kind of crazy. They did beat Florida, so that was a good game at the time. But of course, Tennessee destroyed Florida, or not destroyed Florida, beat Florida at the time. LSU pretty good. They destroyed them. They beat Alabama. So honestly, as much as I don't have any hatred towards Kentucky, they're a good team. I still think Tennessee is going to win. And I think the prediction is going to be Tennessee minus 13, in my opinion. I think they're going to score late. They're going to be up by a touchdown, and then they're going to score late at the end of the game. I still think that they're going to beat Kentucky. Kentucky is still good. Sorry about that. Kentucky is still good, but I still think Tennessee, with what they're going on right now, their momentum, they're just they're rolling right now. Their offense, Hendon Hooker has played amazing so far. Will Levis has played great also, so don't disrespect to him either. But I still think Tennessee is going to win by minus 13 points against Kentucky at home in a primetime game. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think about this game. It's going to be another interesting one, and so it's going to be very fun to watch as well. All right, guys, Football Recaps here. Hope you all have a great day. Peace out.